Welcome to the Boise Song Talk. I'm James Coberly Smith. Give me just a second, set this guitar down if you would, please. Thank you. Songs. What we're going to be doing on Boise Song Talk is we're going to be speaking with a number of the great local songwriters about how they write their songs. Now, they're all great live performers, and I encourage you to go out and see their live shows. However, we will not be emphasizing performance on this show. Instead, we'll be speaking with them about how they write their songs. Now, let's go over and meet tonight's special guest, Kayleigh Jack. Kayleigh Jack, my friend, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Do appreciate it. You know, I've had so much fun when I watch you perform. First of all, when I listen to you perform, that's a treat, of course. Beautiful singer, great guitar player, great songs, and a great fiddle player.
Thank you.
But I really enjoy watching you perform because when I'm watching you, it just looks like you're enjoying yourself. And I feel like the audience feels it. And it's very cool. You're young, and yet you still have quite a list of career highlights. I'm going to throw off just a few of them, and then I'm going to encourage people to go to your website, KayleighJack.com, to learn a lot more about Kayleigh. This is just a few of them. VH1 Song of the Year Award finalist. Nashville Star Searched Best Emerging Songwriter Award. Jeez.
Oh, shucks.
Oh, come on now. Country Music Television, Music City Madness Elite 8 finalist for 2 years in a row. You did the Americana Tour. And again, these are just a few of them because the show is short. But really, it's really something, the things you've done already. So my question to you is, when you were young, were you musical right out of the gate?
I think so. I used to write little silly stupid songs when I was young, and I remember that I wrote one once and it was a really stupid song. I recall I was like 7 years old and I recorded it on my little cassette player, and then we ended up going, my family and I, my brother, my mom, dad, and I went on a family vacation. And we were in the car, and they had acquired this tape recorder, and they're like, let's listen to Kayleigh play. And so they started playing it, and I was traumatized for a good 5 years after that. And then I started playing and writing music again. So I had a rough childhood, but
Well, now they said, let's listen to Kayleigh play. Mm-hmm. Were you, this song when you're 7, were you playing an instrument?
I was not. By playing, I mean I was more just squawking with my voice. But I started violin when I was 9, really? And it was my dad I used to think that he was a great violin player because he owned a violin.
Yeah, wow.
But it turns out he's actually really good with his ears and stuff. So I mean, he can hear music, and but I just wanted, my parents told my brother and I that we had to pick an instrument, and so I just wanted to do everything that he did. So I was like, I'm going to choose violin, and so that's how I ended up choosing the violin.
So you did violin. That was your first instrument?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, classical, and then I got into fiddle later because I figured, I probably shouldn't say this, but you can, in this town anyway, you can make quite a bit more money playing fiddle than you can classical. So anyway, plus I just really enjoy it. So
describe the difference to me between fiddle and violin.
Well, the violin is, they're all the same instrument, and people always ask me that, what's the difference between a fiddle and a violin? But classical music, I read music, and I would actually say that is my forte. So when I teach violin and fiddle also, but I teach both of them because I think it's really important to be able to read music and to play it, to, do fiddle as well, and so... And classical is really good because it teaches you kind of how to hold the violin and vibrato and all of that. So, yeah.
Okay, because I've always been on eggshells when I'm around a fiddle player or violin player, because I'm going, hey, you play a nice fiddle. It's like, I don't want to say something wrong. You
Yeah.
know? So you're teaching me something. Did you play in orchestras then when you were young?
Yep. My whole life I've played in orchestras. I was in the Boise State Orchestra, and it's actually kind of funny because I was in the orchestra with a lot of musicians around town now, like from Fram 4, Cody, the bass player from Fram 4, Chris Doty, if you've heard of her. But we were all in the same orchestra together, and you know, it's kind of funny.
Huh. So then when did you, you wrote made up your first song when you're 7. Did you keep making things up? Would you make things up?
Yeah, and it was before I played guitar, and I used to just make up little songs all the time and just record them. And then when I started playing guitar, I bought my guitar from Johnny Pisano.
Excellent.
And this guitar, in fact, and then that's really when I started writing a lot, was when I got a guitar. So.
What age do you think you were approximately when you started writing on guitar?
Oh, I think I was probably about 15 or so. So, you know, yeah.
What made you want to start writing songs then?
I just always have music in my head, and I've always had music going on, and throughout school and high school, like that was kind of my safe place. Well, safe place, that makes it sound really dramatic, but I was coming home and I would just be in my room, and I would just stay in my room all day and all night, and my parents would always be like, where is she? But I was in my room like listening to music and just like, yeah, and playing guitar, and that was just what I did all through my teens. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because it becomes a different ballgame when you start playing the guitar and writing a song.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Well, do you feel like giving us one of those Kayleigh Jack songs?
I would love to, actually.
Excellent.
This one's called Summer Nights, and I actually wrote it about Boise.
Okay.
So. Summer nights, they kiss me softly, and the world begins to slow. Oh, well, I sit on my front porch, picking down in southern Idaho. Summer nights, they kiss me softly, and the world begins to slow. Oh, well, I sit on my front porch, picking down in southern Idaho. Well, now street traffic, it rolls on by. That park is in full bloom. Well, I've got nothing in my hands but time. I'd like to spend it on you. In the summer nights, they kiss me softly, and the world begins to slow. Oh, well, I sit on my front porch, picking down in southern Idaho. We'll take a walk up to that old foothill, a table in the sky. We'll stroll next to a winding river and watch the rafts flow by. And the summer nights, they kiss me softly, and the world begins to slow. Oh, well, I sit on my front porch, picking down southern Idaho. Belleville, Pois, oh, that's where I like to go. Summer nights I run like anything. Boise, Idaho. And the summer nights, they kiss me softly, and the world begins to slow. Oh, well, I sit on my front porch, picking down southern Idaho. Well, down in Boise, Idaho.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, now a song like that, first of all, it contains another thing that I think you're really good at is melodies. A lot of your songs are very melodic.
Thank you.
And the chorus of that is like that too. I mean, the tune is almost like a Russian thing, you know? I mean, it's very cool. With a song like that, do you remember, did you do the music or the lyrics first?
Actually, this song is kind of interesting. Well, most of my songs are kind of like that, where I do them both at the same time.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, because
Okay.
this one in particular, just as an example, I lived downtown. This was last summer that I wrote it, and it was the beginning of summer, and I left my apartment and I was walking to the gas station. It was like the beginning of summer, and it was like this nice breeze, and the trees were in bloom, and I was just like in such a great mood, and I was like, I would just love living in Boise, and so I just started. It all just kind of came to me. First, the melody came, and then I just started kind of like singing, and then I was like, I should write this about Boise, even though the melody it's kind of Russian-esque. But anyway, but I had my phone, which I of course always carry on me, and I like because I'll forget it, so I always like record it. So I was like walking to the gas station, like recording it and looking like a total crazy person. It's the North End though, so it's okay. But it was anyway, I'm sorry. Anyway, but then by the time I got home, it was like 75% of the song was done, and so.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
So, yeah.
So you already told me a lot. You normally the music and the lyrics will start coming at the same time, and then there you were out and about. It came to you. You knew if you didn't capture it, it might go away.
Yes.
You think that's important to capture them quickly?
I do. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I will always forget. I'm crazy forgetful, so I would have definitely forgotten it. So.
And that's your normal technique? Put it on the phone?
Put it on the phone.
It's a good one.
My phone is actually filled with like a bunch of, because I also like, because I love to read, so I'll like come across like a word or something, I'm like, that's a nice word. And so my phone is filled with like these one-liners, like lines that I'm like, well, that make for a good lyric in a song. So my phone is filled with all this gibberish, and then it's also filled with like these, like you wouldn't even be able to make sense. You would think I was a crazy person.
Well, so then you get home and you have it on the phone. Now, how do you then just start playing it to remember it?
Yeah, I really
Okay,
have to be kind of in the right mood, I guess.
yeah.
Like, but I'll, if I go home and I'll just crack open a beer or have some tea and just sit there and just write. I have to kind of feel inspired, and it's always kind of exciting to go through the day and know that you have like this really cool idea, and it's like I can't wait to get home and write something. So
Neat. Now, do you ever? You have your great band right now, Ophelia. Do you ever you look at the set of your band and go, I think we could use a such and such type song? Does that ever happen? Where you say, we need this kind, let me create this kind?
Definitely. Actually, my bass player and also my best friend, his name's Jason, he and I love writing together, and I love co-writing with very particular people, because you have to be on the same wavelength, and you have to kind of get along with that person, and they have to know you have to know them, you have to trust each other musically. And so we actually, it's funny you ask that, because we play a lot of the downtown scenes where these people, I say kids, but like these college students, they want to have something to dance to, and they want some like really heavy, like this song actually has a very heavy bass drum part, and so Jason and I were actually talking, and we're like, we need to like write some stuff. So we've actually been working on coming up with some kind of like funk stuff, and he's so good at, he's just kind of a funk player, so it's and blues and all that. So like I'm really good with melodies and chords and stuff, and he's really good with like kind of taking me away from, because it's very easy to get stuck with the same melody and the same strumming patterns, and so he's really good at being like, well, what if we do it like this? And so it's really good to co-write sometimes too, because it opens you up a little bit.
So in your co-writing, the two of you, it sounds like you would have that seed of an idea in this song, and you'd play it for Jason, and he'd go, how about this?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
This particular song was all mine.
Yeah, I get you. Okay.
Yeah, but he, it's fun to write, because he has some great ideas too. So,
yeah. Shoot, let's. You got this fiddle sitting over here. Do you think that thing works?
There's
Let's
one way to find out.
Oh God, I don't even think it works.
No.
I think it's just a prop.
Oh, I'll make it work.
Oh,
Done
brother.
it before.
Okay, we're gonna experiment, aren't we?
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
Things are getting crazy.
Oh, yes.
Well, this one's called the Swallowtail Jig in E minor for our folks at home.
Yes. Perfect. All right. Well, thanks for doing that, because that's an old Irish tune.
It is.
It's an old one. You are, it's so much fun watching you do that in your shows. And people really need to go check out Ophelia. It's a great band. And also, don't forget to go to KayleighJack.com to see all these other. Kayleigh, you played in a lot of different bands through the years when you were younger. In fact, shoot, there was all these bands. You had Buckshot. Buckshot, is that right?
A lot of buck bands.
Yeah, there are. Buckskin. Yeah.
Kind of weird.
Buckskin Bible Reunion, Stonefly Stout, Moonshiners, High Desert. Some of them were quite different bands. Mm-hmm. What did you think that taught you about songwriting, playing in those different genres, if anything?
Yeah, well, let's see. Because I mean, one was a bluegrass band. One was it was a shorties band. We played we were the house band, so we did like a lot of top 40s country stuff. And actually, it's a really good question, because all those bands are so different. And one was like a bluegrass electric kind of thing, and so it taught me a lot about bluegrass music. In fact, one of the songs I wrote was for the band High Desert, which is a very acoustic bluegrass, upright bass, fun, awesome band. But it it gave me so much variety to my playing. And I really didn't play guitar in any of those bands, but musically and songwriting wise, it really helped to hear, because all these people wrote their own music, and so it was really cool to see how different personalities. I mean, everybody loves music, and everybody. I mean, there's that commonality, but then also people have such different styles, and so it was really good to have that experience.
Neat.
Musically. So, yeah.
If you had to give a piece of advice to a new songwriter or a veteran songwriter, what would you say?
Let's see. I would probably say to be careful of writing songs that sound like your other songs. I mean, sometimes I've kind of run, and everybody runs into that problem. I've run into that problem many times before. But that's like another good thing about co-writing music is it with somebody else, is you get kind of their ideas and they kind of open your mind a little bit. But so yeah, there's that. A lot of people I think get stuck writing the same, using the same chord progressions and all that. And then also one thing is, I'm really big, I don't know if this is advice necessarily, but it's just my own. I like songs to go somewhere, and so I like to kind of tell a story or kind of give, like, there has to be some kind of a climax to my songs anyway, and so I feel like the song needs to always like go somewhere and build and become something.
You're talking about musically or lyrically?
I think more musically, actually, because really in like that song Summer Nights I sang, I was just thinking about it as I was talking, and it doesn't really, I mean, it's not really telling a story, it's just kind of giving like an idea of what Boise is all about. But I mean, but but even in that song, there's a bit of a climax because it says Boise, Idaho, as opposed, that was kind of the climax or whatever. So, I don't know. I just musically, definitely though, I just always feel like it should go somewhere, and I believe in following a form of a song. Different forms are fine, but I like. This is my own personal opinion, but the verse, chorus kind of thing, the bridge. I mean, I like that. Just, like, keep it interesting, keep it so that a listener wants to hear what you're talking about. You know, so.
And it sounds like then you, well, there'll almost be different genres in some ways the way you will look at the music of each new song. You want the whole flavor to be a little different than the other song you just did. Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah. It's kind of hard though because one time, so I was in Nashville for a while, and this guy, I don't remember who he worked for, but he's like, so what are you? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, what's your genre? Like, you write too many different styles of songs, and so I think that's something to be careful of too. Is if you're trying to like make it big as an artist, like instead of just selling your songs, I think that's kind of something to be careful of too. Which is kind of a hard one for me because I love all styles of music.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. That's a tough one, you know, if you feel like, well, you know, you're being more creative by doing more things.
Yeah.
But if the thought is for business purposes, you should go in this, I mean, I get it all. But that's a tough one when you have to throttle in your own creativity and.
There's a give and take to everything, I suppose.
I guess. Hey, back to melody now. Given that, you know, you were trained, you learned to read music when you were young, and so when you're reading music, you're seeing it on a page. You are visualizing it. Whereas a lot of people who play music now, they play by ear. I wonder if having that experience of being able to read music causes you to be more aware of melody because you are used to seeing it on the page. I wonder
too.
Because a lot of people don't have that background that you do in violin.
I think so. I mean, well, the classical side of things, I mean, I've always just loved melody, and that's, I mean, I just, like, for instance, I'm working on an album, and I'm using a lot of stringed instruments in it because I just love that sound of strings.
Oh, yeah.
But I kind of see music in colors almost, if that makes sense.
It does.
Like, like the key of A would be like a red, key of C would be a yellow. I have no idea. I have no idea why, but I just kind of see like patterns in music, and that kind of helps me to improv a little bit. So if that makes any sense. But
No, it does. It does. I've seen Bob Dylan be asked that question. Did you see music in colors? He said, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So there you go.
Very good. I did not know that.
Yeah, if this had happened after your interview, I'd have bet he'd have been copying you. But anyway, when you finish a song, is it important to you the first time you perform it, the reaction you get, or not?
Not the first time, because I usually mess it up the first like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times. But usually, like when I get it perfect how I want it, then I start, seeing how people react to it. And people's reactions are huge in my book, and maybe they shouldn't be, but they are, because you want, ultimately, I feel like as a songwriter, you're writing for yourself, but you're also writing for your audience in a way. You want people to enjoy what you're writing, and plus their reaction is, it's a good way to tell if your song is no good or not. I feel like. Sure. I don't know. It depends. I kind of, it's not, if I play it for like one audience and then they don't like it, then I don't put it away. I just wait for, I play it for a few different shows, and if it just doesn't seem to move people, then I still like it, but I don't know.
Well, how's about you play another song, and then we'll see how I react.
Okay. Better be a good reaction.
I bet it will be.
I bet it will cry on your show. Dude. This one is called "People That You Know."
Kayleigh Jack.
Tried my best to dance on both sides of the fences and knock down your defenses, but it never made a lick of difference. that dream of this, I don't think you love me anymore. I was just your runner-up when other doors had closed. People that you know, well, people that you know, no, they don't give, no, they don't give anymore than they need to. You held my string and let me go. Up and up, I finally disappeared into the atmosphere. It's a mighty dark place up here, where people that you know, where people that you know, no, they don't give, no, they don't give anymore. Oh, now what'd you take me for? All the times I went to bat for you, I never kept a score. And how I wish I'd only known what I knew now. That people that you know, that people that you know, oh, no, they don't give, no, they don't give anymore. Now people that you know, oh, now people that you know, oh, no, they don't give, no, they don't give anymore. And they need to.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Again, the melodies are, and it's just so neat what you said before about liking the verse, chorus, bridge structure.
I just like it.
It's a classic, isn't it? Because
Yes.
it enforces change within a short time period.
Exactly.
Yeah, really neat. So, you did a song at the extravaganza a year or two ago. It was a mistletoe, bum, bum, bum.
Yeah.
That thing was so dang catchy.
Thank you.
Now, did you co-write that?
Yeah, my friend Lindsay and I wrote it together. She was part of Ophelia as well, and we sat in we were driving around her car, and we were thinking, we got to get a song, a Christmas song, and so I was like, we should do kind of like a bum bum bum, like a really like kind of Christmassy silliness, and it was so much fun. It was awesome.
It was so catchy.
Yeah.
In fact, I made sure to not look at it today because I knew I'd be singing it all day if I heard it. So with the band now going forward, you're working on an album. You having fun doing that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's really fun. The best part of it is when you get done with, well, I was going to say all the boring parts, but like getting like the guitar part down and your vocals, and it's so much fun to be able to get all the other instruments, and that's when you get to be creative and start adding like oboes and cellos and stuff.
Boy.
So, yeah.
It's exciting.
I know. Really
Because you really know those instruments, having been in orchestras. You know how they sing. Exciting.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's going to be awesome.
Tell you what, Kayleigh Jack, give us another song, my friend. They're wrapping up the show on us, and I like to go out on a little music.
All right.
KayleighJack.com. Really appreciate you coming, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
This one's called The Saddest Part. I actually co-wrote this with my friend Barbara Lang.
Okay.
When you're guilty, you think that everybody knows. When you're a liar, yeah, you keep